Where are we?
Well, we're in Scotland. We're at Livi, mate, and it's 2 degrees and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a little dawn patrol mission. I've never been to Livi. We're about to check it out. This place is legendary. I told Tony Hawk I was coming to Scotland, and he's like, "You're going to Scotland? You don't drink scotch? Okay, you gotta buy me this scotch, you gotta buy me this scotch, and then you gotta go skate Livi, mate." So here I am. This story, as Tony tells it, Del Mar Skate Ranch in the infamous California skate park was closing down on like 86, 87, I don't know the exact years. All the parks in America were closing down, and they just built Livingston over here in the UK. And I think the 1988 Bones Brigade tour came and did a demo like when this park was brand new. All those guys were blown away because it's this 80s style park that was brand new. They were building a park, whereas they were closing them all down in America. So here we are. Oh, there's a full pipe? I didn't even know there's a full, nobody told me there's a full pipe. Yeah, there's frost on the ground. Yeah, it's a little cold, a little chilly, a little damp. Might be some ice skating, but we'll get some done.
Do you reckon it's skatable?
It's skatable. I mean, the shallow end's dry. I don't know about that deep end. We'll see. This is what you saw on the Bones Brigade tour right here. This was like Steve Caballero doing Crooked Cops over this.
What's your ties to Scotland?
My granddad is from Dumfries. That's where the Macdonald tartan comes from. I called my dad before. I'm 51 years old. It's my first trip to Scotland. I called my dad like, "Okay, I'm going to Scotland. Any relatives, like anything left over from Scotland?" He's like, "Your granddad's probably buried in Dumfries, but that's about it." Yeah, this is what there is left. I'm a Macdonald. To get in touch with my heritage, I thought I'd have a Scottish breakfast. What do we got? So I went to the Scottish shop yesterday, and I showed them my family crest and my Macdonald tartan, and they were like, "Oh, Macdonald, follow me." And they were like, "Here's your kilt, here's your scarf, here's your hat. Take your pick." I didn't get a kilt, but I got a beer mat. Clotted cream shortbread, yummy breakfast, and an Irn Bru. Never had it. About to get in touch with my heritage right now. Woo! That's got a bite after that, a little aftertaste. When you start it, it's like pretty smooth. You're like, this is a sweet soda, and then there's got the after. Woo!
How would you describe that flavor?
I've never had anything like it. Woo! Aftertaste. It's a little rough.
Would you describe it as the best thing you've ever tasted?
I don't think I'd describe it as the best thing I've ever tasted, but I'm sure you could get used to it. I'm on my third sip already. We gotta get in and break out some of these, make sure that we have something to wash it down. My granddad used to make these. He said his were the best, of course. It's banging. That's proper shortbread. So what you want to do is get a mouthful of shortbread. And just wash it down with some Irn. Scottish, dude. Hold on, dude. Check it. Oh. Yeah. Got my McDonald's beer mat. This is it. We're hitting 2024. Pure fun, dude. 8 in the morning, 2 degrees. Cheers. There's pits in here with like moss growing in it. And then ice in between. Oh, look at those graphics right there. That tells you right there. Come check this out. It's the biggest, best brand in the UK, and turned into flip and came to America and took it by storm. We got John Lucero graphic right here. We got the coffee cup Neil blender. Whoa, God, almost went down. Del Mar Skate Ranch. Road Riders over there. Keith Meek slasher board. There's some serious heritage here. Woo! Like, this is a big part of skateboarding history in Scotland. The sessions that have gone down here when tourists come through the UK, they always make it up to Scotland, and this is where they come. And yeah, I only have known it through whatever clips and video footage I've seen, and now I'm here standing in it, and it's freezing cold. And it's just like anything, like when you see a spot in real life, you've seen all the footage and whatever, and you're like, oh, this is what went down, and then you go to it and you're like, whoa, how did it even get speed for that? Like how, like the conditions, you can never really understand it until you're there in real life. And that's certainly the case here at Livi.
What about this vert wall? That's more like you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's more like me. What are you talking about? This side might have like, it kind of fades away on that side, but this side might have like a 6 inches of vert at the top. Different transitions on different walls. Oh my God! Is that ice? Oh, it is ice. You see the ice coming off it? That's not wax, kids. The idea is to make a path through the sludge that is less sludgy. A brisk morning, no big deal. We did have to sacrifice the skateboard grip written t-shirt, clean things up a little bit. You gotta do what you gotta do to skate. Dude, you're just lucky I'm not wearing a kilt. We didn't come prepared. Maybe when it dries, it would, you know, like, but nothing's drying. Everything's freezing. So I just tried to make a pathway through it that not just has like a thin film of really slippery stuff instead of like a whole muck of slippery stuff. There's a reason they call it scumline carve. Oh my God! Woo! Let's see if I can cross over and survive. Oh my God. Just like frontside rock and roll is like a roots, cool, styly trick that I always do before a contest run, and tricks that I think I'll always have. Even when I'm an old man, I want to be able to do a frontside rock and roll. And so that's kind of the go-to, even in sketchy situations like riding through the muck and the mire. Frontside rock and Livi! You see my board get sideways when I try to ride through it again? Yeah, over the hip at Livi. Yeah, I wish it was more skatable, but I'm glad to have gotten a frontside rock in anyway and say that I skated it. All right, backside boneless, backside tail block. I feel like that's about as good as it's gonna get. It's pretty special. Anytime you get to go skate like an infamous spot that you've like grown up and saw the pros skating, the pros that you looked up to, and they got to skate, and it just seemed so unattainable. So literally like thousands of miles away. Like I'll never get there physically, and so it's really feeling like a bucket list travel destination of the infamous skate parks on this globe. And for a lifelong skateboarder to check one of those off it's a big deal. So I'm psyched. It's a pleasure. Okay, yeah. There are some legends in Scotland, in Scottish folklore. You may have heard the legend of the Loch Ness. I've heard of the legend of a perfect vert ramp in the Scottish Highlands. It goes by the name of the Highland Hideout. Yeah, perfect vert ramps built to spec, the same dimensions as the infamous Bird's Nest Tony Hawk's vert ramp in Vista, California. We're gonna go check out that next. See if the legend, the folklore is real. Stewart Orr is a retired professional snowboarder that reached out to me on Instagram 3 years ago and was like, hey man, I'm building, I got some land in Scotland and I'm gonna build a warehouse and put a ramp in it, and I want to build it just like Tony's ramp. So can you help me out and send me like the dimensions of Tony's ramp? And I hit him back like, yeah, sure bro, right on. Like, didn't know who he was. I'll never hear from this guy again. And then he started sending me pictures like, okay, you got the slab down. Here's the walls. Here's the building. Send those drawings, like send those dimensions. Like, he built this place by himself with his own 2 hands and wanted to put a proper vert ramp in it. And he wanted to have a ramp just like Tony Hawk's ramp. I know those dimensions from the top of my head. I sent him the dimensions. Next thing you know, there's a perfect replica of Tony Hawk's ramp. It's about half as wide as Tony's ramp, but it's here in the Highlands of Scotland. It is 2.5, 3 hours outside Glasgow, and we are in the cuts. There's nothing but sheep and Highland cows around us. And you drive out here and there's this beautiful, perfect vert ramp in the middle of nowhere. It feels very similar to Tony's ramp, like dimensions-wise, flat bottom, he got it perfect. Even the reveal on the coping, it's a 1/4 inch reveal on the top, 1/4 inch on the front. It's like solid. Stu has just been persistent, consistent in trying to build the scene around this place that's so hard to get to. Just mostly through Instagram, just like bothering people like, come and get this out. And here we are 2 years later, and he's a stop on the UK Vert series. He already had a game of skate that he put together himself. Collin came out, took the win. It's a huge deal to get American pros over to Scotland. And yeah, he's just built this scene by hand, and good for him. We need more people like it, just like, I'm gonna do this and build it and they will come. It's the classic example.
Why Tony's ramp?
Everybody said it was the best ramp, so it was the obvious choice, I guess, yeah. I kind of contacted all the best guys in the world I could think of, said what's the best ramp, what size is the best, and this is what we ended up with. Initially he thought I was joking and it would never happen, but here we are, so
Joke's on him.
the joke's on him, yeah. I've been waiting a long time, it's incredible to have him here. What more can I say, legend. So.
Yeah, sure. This is, oh, get the mixing board, you get the built-in sound system, you know. It's the playing DJ. Up here is the observation deck. I mean, it's just the ramp, so there's not a lot of room, but he's made best use of the room, so spectators can be up there, opposite deck, and then down below. And then, yeah, little mini ramp. Quick little mini ramp. He's got an Aussie bed, trampoline. Oh. Hold on, I gotta get a backflip, I don't know where I am. Okay, backflips. Tight little mini ramp. So if you fall on the opposite deck, you can see right along the edge of the ramp, there's rock wall stones. That's the only way to get up to that deck unless you skate. And then if you're into rock climbing, there's this, bouldering action. All kinds of fun stuff here at Highland Hideout. If I make it this try, I get lunch. So this is it. End of the day, I had an amazing day just trying to experience Scottish skateboarding. From Livi to the Highlands, vert, bowls. It was an amazing day. I really feel like I've gotten a taste of the Scottish skate scene, but also a taste of culture. I had an Irn Bru for breakfast. I got to see a Highland cow. I got to check out Odin. It's a famous fishing town on the gateway to the Isles, and just checking out the Highlands and experiencing Scotland for the first time. So psyched to get to experience as much as I did. Ladies and gentlemen, Alfie, what's up? Yes. Now you can slide down if you want.